In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to today's English lesson for the second intermediate grade, second semester for the textbook Full Blast 4. And today's lesson is gonna be a revision of Unit 2 and 3. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to feel more comfortable about all the content that you've studied and be confident about what you have learned and develop strategies for revision and preparation for the final exam. So in Module 2, we will discuss some vocabulary in Lesson 2D, and we will go through how to write an email giving news in Lesson 2E. And in Module 3, we will talk about the verb should and some vocabulary in Lesson 3A, and SMS language chat speak in Lesson 3B, and enough in Lesson 3C. And we will talk about quantifiers in Lesson 3D, which are how much, how many, a few, and so on. And in Lesson 3E, we will talk about the possessive pronouns and possessive case. Alright, let's begin with Lesson 2D. And we will discuss some important vocabulary in this lesson. The first one is police officer. So this lesson has many names of different jobs. So the first one is police officer so here's a picture to help you with the meaning. Next word is cameraman. So the word camera, it has the word camera, so the cameraman, and here's a picture of a cameraman is someone who films videos with special equipment. Next word is firefighter, is someone who fights fire, okay? So here's a picture of a firefighter. Next word is reporter. Okay, reporter is someone who reports to the news. Okay, they work for news stations and they go out in the field. So here's a picture of a reporter. Next, architect. So the word architect is the name of the job of people who plan and design buildings, and they make blueprints. So here's a picture of an architect. Next job or next word, paramedic. Paramedic is the job of someone who helps people when they need medical assistance in emergencies. And here's a picture. This is a paramedic and this is also a paramedic. They both are paramedics. Next, electrician. Electrician is the name of the job of someone who deals with electricity. Okay, so here's a picture of an electrician. Next, photographer is the name of the job of people who take photographs, pictures, still pictures, not videos, okay? So here's a picture of a photographer. Alright, now let's have a small exercise about the vocabulary we just had. So it says put the following jobs in the correct group. So we have 3 different groups: media, emergency services, construction. So to which group does all these jobs belong to? Let's start with the first one, photographer. Does it belong to media or emergency services or construction? Okay, it's clearly media, so photographer goes with the media group. The next one, electrician. Electrician is, with, like we said, someone who deals with electricity, so it goes with construction. Next one, paramedic. Okay, so paramedic goes with, alright, emergency services. Architect. Construction, very good. Next one, reporter. So reporter goes with media. And how about firefighter? Very nice, so goes with emergency services. So the next one, cameraman. This one is too easy. Okay, so media, very good. Next one, police officer goes with emergency services. Good job. Okay, now let's go to lesson 2E, and in this lesson we will talk about how to write an email giving news to a friend. So an email giving news has to include this: the greeting, opening paragraph, the main part, closing paragraph, signing off, and the signature. So here what it looks like. So here's a window of an email, and the subject is exciting news. Okay, so we will see how the greeting in the email look like. So hi Saad, so this is the greeting. Okay, an opening paragraph will look similar to this. How are you? I've got some exciting news to tell you. Okay, so this is the greeting, this is the opening paragraph, and the main part would look like, something similar to this. I followed your advice and joined the tennis club. It's fantastic. I practice 3 times a week and so on. The coach says I'm really good, but I need to work hard. All these details are an important part of the news. And I'm going to take part in a tournament in a nearby town. Can you believe it? So he's giving him also an update. Okay, so the next part is the closing paragraph, and it looks like this. Well, that's all for now. Well, what about you? Have you taken up any new activities lately? Write back and let me know. Okay, so the signing off looks like this. This is the signing off. Take care. And the signature is just the first name. Alright, now let's go to Module 3 and Lesson 3a. In this lesson we will talk about the verb should. So the verb should is used for expressing opinion and making suggestions and asking for advice and giving advice. So how to express your opinion using should? So here are some examples. So we have a conversation between Tom and Bill, and Tom says, I have a headache. And Bill is expressing his opinion and saying, I think you should take some painkillers. Okay, you should take. So a subject, should, followed by the base form of the verb, take. No ing, no ed, no s, or anything else. So I think you should take. And this is an opinion, and this is how to make a suggestion using should. So this is the first one. We should be on time for tomorrow's class. Again, subject, should, and the base form of the verb. Okay, and the negative form is like this. We shouldn't be late for tomorrow's class. So shouldn't, should, the same form, we only add not to should. So we shouldn't be. This is the main form or the base form of the verb. Okay, and this is how to ask for advice. So this is the question form. I have a bad toothache. What should I do? So this time it's different. So the subject is after should. So we flip those, the subject and should, and the verb stays the same, and we add a question mark. So what should I do? He's asking for advice. So we will give him advice by saying, you should go to the dentist. Okay, you should go. Alright, good. So now let's take a look at some of the important vocabulary in lesson 3a, and they are in these sentences. Okay, so the word headache, we have headache, on time, toothache, painkillers. Okay, so the word headache is when you get pain in your head. We call that headache. Okay, on time. To be on time is to be on the exact time when an event or something starts. Okay, not 5 minutes late or 5 minutes early. On time. For example, when a class starts at 10 o'clock, you need to be on time to be in class at 10 o'clock. Okay, toothache is a pain in your teeth. Okay, so when a tooth hurts, we call it toothache. Okay, next, painkillers is what we use to kill the pain when we have a toothache or a headache. Okay, so painkillers are medicine or pills that we take to get rid of the pain. So now let's have a small exercise. Write what should or shouldn't be done in the following situations. Use words given in the prompts. Okay, we have the words walk, stay in bed, and the situation is Turkey has broken his leg. Okay, so how about walking? And how about staying in bed? Should he do this or shouldn't he? Should he stay in bed or shouldn't he? And we'll do the same thing with number 2. Turkey has broken his leg. Walk. I think we should say Turkey should not walk. Okay, and we also can make it to the short form and say shouldn't. Turkey shouldn't walk. Stay bed. This is the wise thing to do when you have a broken leg. So Turkey should stay in bed. Okay, number 2. Ali has got a bad cough. Okay, so drinking tea and eating ice cream. What's good and what's not good for Ali? I think drinking tea is good for Ali when he has a bad cough. So we can say Ali should, or he should drink some tea. Okay, he should drink some tea. And ice cream is not good for someone who has a bad cough, so we would say he shouldn't eat ice cream. Alright, now let's go to lesson 3B. And we will talk about SMS language, short messaging system language. Okay, and we also call it chat speak, net speak, and it's a special way of texting that uses abbreviations to save time and sometimes save money, because in some countries they charge people based on how much they have written, how many characters they have used in the text message. And here's an example of the SMS language so people use on the internet and on their phones, like the expression LOL. Okay, it's an abbreviation of laugh out loud. So when someone wants to express that they are laughing really hard, they say LOL. Okay, laugh out loud. So this is the first letter of the word laugh, the first letter of the word out, and the first letter of the word loud. And here's another example. BRB means be right back. Okay, I will be right back. So those abbreviations help save time, and many people use it. You can see them all the time on the internet and on their phones, and you can find on page 61 a dictionary for this chat speak. So now let's have a small exercise using chat speak. So rewrite this message using chat speak. So this is a long message. Hi Ali, I didn't see you today at school. Are you going to school tomorrow? Let me know, please. Thanks. So we need to make this message shorter using chat speak or SMS language. And you can go to page 61 and make some changes to this message. Make it shorter and use, it's like translation. Okay. And here's how it looks like after using chat speak. We will go through it each one at a time. So hi Ali. So we don't need to mention the name because I'm texting Ali directly to his phone, so I don't need to write down his name. So hi, I didn't see you. See you. Okay. Today. This is the word today. At school. So instead of writing at, we write the symbol at. Are you going to school tomorrow? Let me know, please. Thanks. Alright, now let's go to lesson 3C. In this lesson, we will talk about to and enough. So, to means more than necessary, okay? And it has a negative meaning. And to always comes before the adjective or the adverb. And here are some examples. I can't wear this shirt. It's too tight. Okay. The adjective is tight. This is the adjective. And too tight means that he cannot get his head through the opening of the t-shirt. That's how tight it is. So it's too tight. Another example. It's too early. So this is an adverb. It's too early. Don't wake him up. Okay, so he's supposed to wake up like, let's say 7 a.m. Too early is like 4 a.m. It's too early. Alright, now let's talk about enough. Enough means adequate or adequately, just the right amount, okay? And it has a positive meaning. And enough usually comes after the adverb or the adjective, and sometimes it's followed by a noun. Okay, it comes before the noun and after the adjective or the adverb. Okay, here are some examples. This room is big enough for 10 people. Okay, so enough, here's enough, and it's preceded by the adjective big, so the adjective comes before the word enough. Okay, so this room is big enough for 10 people, so it fits 10 people. It cannot fit 11 people. Okay, it's too big for 9 people, so it's big enough for 10 people. Another example, he has enough money to buy a new house. So money is a noun, so enough comes before the noun. So he has enough money to buy a new house, just one house. He cannot buy 2 houses, and he has just enough money to buy a new house. Alright, now let's have a small exercise about using to and enough. Circle the correct word. We have to or enough food to last us at least 3 weeks. We have to food or we have enough food. So food is a noun. Can we say to? No, we can't, because to only comes with the adjective and adverb. So we use enough, and this is a noun. We have enough food. Number 2, that car is too or enough big. It won't fit in our garage. So this is an adjective, big. Can we say too big or enough big? We cannot say enough because enough comes after the adjective or the adverb. So the right answer, so the correct answer is 2. Number 3, he is strong too or enough to carry those heavy bags. Can we say he is strong too or he is strong enough? Okay, so we don't have an adjective or a noun here, so this is the adjective. Okay, so can we say strong too? No, we can't, because adjectives comes after to. So the correct answer is enough. Okay, now let's go to lesson 3D, and we will talk about quantifiers, which are how much, how many, much and many in sentences, a lot of, lots of, a few, a little. So we will start with how much, how many. So we use how much with uncountable nouns like milk, water, sugar, and so on to ask about the quantity and ask about the price. And we use many with countable nouns to ask about the number of the countable noun we are asking about. So here's an example of how to ask about the quantity of something uncountable, like milk. We say, how much milk do we need? And this is how to ask about the price. How much is this bag? So we are asking about the price for the bag. So we say, how much is this bag? And here's how to ask about a countable noun. How many cards do you have? Okay, now let's go to the next part of this lesson, which is much and many in sentences. We use much with uncountable nouns in questions and negative sentences. And here's an example of using much in questions. Why isn't there much milk? So milk is uncountable, and this is a question. So why isn't there much milk? And here's an example of using negative sentences with much. There isn't much sugar left. So sugar is uncountable. There isn't much sugar left. And we use many with countable nouns, and usually we use it with questions, not all the time, and negative sentences as well, but not all the time. So here's an example of how to ask a question using many. Are there many cars outside? And negative sentence, there aren't many pens in the box. Alright, so in this part we will talk about a lot of, lots of, a few, a little. Okay, so a lot of and lots of, we use it with countable or uncountable nouns, and we use a little with uncountable nouns and a few with countable nouns. And we use all of them with affirmative sentences. Here are some examples. He spends a lot of time studying. He reads a lot of books. So uncountable, countable. We used it with both. The same goes with lots of. Here's an example. They drink lots of coffee. Uncountable. He reads lots of books. Countable. So we can use it with both. Now, let's have an example for a little. There was a little water in the glass. So water is uncountable. So we use a little. So there was a little water in the glass. A few. Here's an example. There are few cars outside. There are a few cars outside. Cars is countable. Okay, now let's have an exercise for using the quantifiers. So choose A, B, or C. Number 1, there aren't blank students in the classroom. So can we say there aren't lots students, or there aren't much students, or there aren't many students? So students is countable, and this is a negative sentence. So lots fits here, but it misses an important part, which is off. So this is not correct. Much is used with uncountable nouns, so this is countable noun, so this is also incorrect. So can we say many? Of course we can. So there aren't many students in the classroom. Number 2, there are blank apples in the fridge. There are a few apples in the fridge. There are much apples in the fridge. There are a little apples in the fridge. So apples is a countable noun. Okay, so we use a few. There are a few apples in the fridge. Number 3, blank books have you read so far? So can we say how much books? Books is countable, okay? Or how many books, or much books? And this is a question, so it's clearly how many books have you read? Alright, now let's go to number 4. We haven't got blank time. The mall closes in 5 minutes. Okay, so we haven't got a lot time, or we haven't got much time, or we haven't got many time. So time is uncountable, and a lot can fit here, but it misses an important part, which is off. We can say we haven't got a lot of time, but there is no off in this one, so this is not correct. Can we say much? We haven't got much time. Of course we can, so the answer is B. Alright, now let's talk about lesson 3. In this lesson we will discuss the possessive pronouns and possessive case. We use possessive pronouns and possessive case to express ownership. And these are the possessive pronouns: mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, your, their. Okay? The difference between possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives is that possessive pronouns is not followed by a noun. The possessive adjectives have to be followed with a noun. Okay? So this is the difference between both. Okay, we'll have some examples to show you how to use the possessive pronoun. Okay, here's an example. This is my book. Okay, so this is a possessive adjective. Okay, a possessive adjective. This is my book, and it's followed by a noun, like we said. And here's an example of using possessive pronoun. This book is mine. Okay, so this is the possessive pronoun, and it's not followed by anything. So they both have the same meaning. This is my book, this book is mine. Okay, now let's have another example. This is not your book, it's my book. Okay, so you see how the sentence is repeated here, the word book, and we have also the word book here. This is not your book, it's my book. Okay, so to avoid repetition, sometimes we use the possessive pronouns, and it looks like this. This isn't your book, it's mine. So instead of saying book again, we say mine. Another example. That car used to be my car, but I've sold it and now it's not my car anymore. So this is also a repetitive sentence, it says car a lot, so we need to use the possessive pronouns to make it shorter, so it looks like this. This car used to be mine, but I've sold it and now it's not mine anymore. Okay. Alright, now let's talk about the possessive case. And this is an example of the possessive case. That is Ali's house. Okay, which means that house belongs to Ali. Okay, so this noun, house, belongs to Ali because of the apostrophe S. Okay, here are 5 different cases that how to use the possessive case. So in singular nouns, we add apostrophe S like we did here. Okay, and here's an example. That is Ali's house. It's the same example. Okay, that is Ahmed's house. That is Fahad's house, and so on. We add apostrophe S to the noun in singular nouns. And in regular plural, we add apostrophe because we already have the S. We add only the apostrophe, no S. So here's an example. That is the student's book. So the word students is a regular plural and it has the S already, and we just add the apostrophe after the S. And in irregular nouns, we add apostrophe S. For example, these are children's toys. Okay, the word children is irregular noun and we added the apostrophe and S. The next case is when a noun is owned by 2 or more people. Okay, when 2 people or more own one thing, we add apostrophe S to the last noun. Let's say, for example, Ahmed, Ali, and Fahad, they own one thing. So to express ownership, we add apostrophe S to the last noun in the sentence. So here's an example. This is Fahad and Ali's class. So this class belongs to Fahad and Ali. Okay, they both own this class. So we add apostrophe S to the last noun in the sentence. And in this case, when 2 people own 2 different things. Okay, for example, when we see 2 pairs of shoes and they owned by 2 different people, so we ask whose shoes are these? We add the apostrophe S to each noun. Okay, so here's an example. These shoes are Fahad's and Ali's. Okay, Fahad's and Ali's, because it's 2 different pairs. Alright, so to summarize, we had some vocabulary in lesson 2D and lesson 3A, and to find out more about those vocabulary, please go to page 68 and page 69. You have the word list for the important words in all the lessons. And in lesson 3A, we talked about should, and we say we use subject plus should plus the main form of the verb. And in negative sentences, it's the same, but instead of saying should, we say shouldn't. And in interrogative way, we flip the subject and should. So should plus subject plus verb and the rest of the question and question mark. And in lesson 3B, we talked about chat speak. So the dictionary for chat speak is on page 61. And in lesson 3C, we talked about to and enough, and we said to comes always before the adjective and the adverb, and enough comes before the noun, and enough comes after the adjective or the adverb. And in lesson 3D, we talked about the quantifiers, and we can split them into 3 different categories. Okay, so the first group is to be used with countable nouns, and this group to be used with uncountable nouns, and this group we can use with both countable and uncountable. So we can use how many and many and a few with countable nouns, and we can use how much, much, a little with uncountable nouns, and we can use a lot of and lots of with both countable and uncountable nouns. And in lesson 3E, we talked about the possessive pronouns and possessive case, and we said the possessive pronouns are mine, yours, hers, ours, yours, theirs. And the possessive case, we have 5 different cases. In singular nouns, we add apostrophe S to the noun. In regular plural, we add the apostrophe to the S at the end of the noun. And in irregular plurals, we add apostrophe S. And when two people or more own one thing, we add apostrophe S to the last noun in the sentence. And when two people own two different things, we add apostrophe S to each noun. So that's all the time we have for today's lesson. Thank you so much and have a nice day.